We make plans and decisions every day as leaders. This is one of the core activities of our lives. But there are great dangers, however, that often torpedo our best intentions and efforts. Often we define success too narrowly. We make plans and take action without even thinking of God, or we go beyond God's limits and just press ahead. So in contrast, in this chapter, we're going to look at emotionally healthy planning and decision making, because that's characterized by 4 characteristics that need to become deeply rooted in the soil of our hearts. 1, defining success as radically doing God's will, wherever that may lead. Creating a space for heart preparation to make sure that my heart's centered and anchored in Jesus. Praying for prudence, as Proverbs calls us to do, and then looking for God in those limits that very often drive us crazy. So as you look at these 4 characteristics of emotionally healthy planning and decision making, you'll want to ask yourself, as you move through this chapter, which is the one that God's inviting me to embrace more fully today? So again, to define success as radically doing God's will may be one of them. So our goal when planning and decision making is to remain in a state of indifference, meaning we're completely open to the will of God and we've let go of all of our attachments to any particular outcome. And so we want to ask ourselves, like, how can I prepare my heart better, personally and as a team, to be more open to God's will, whatever that might be for us? Creating a space for heart preparation may be something as simple as, creating space of being with God and silence and prayer before I even launch into a discussion of what are our priorities for the next 6 months. Praying for prudence, and actually taking the time to say, God, grant me wisdom. And then looking for God in our limits, which again is one of the most difficult things for us as leaders to do. So again, you'll discover some practical tips in this chapter to help you get started. But you want to be sure to take that assessment. How healthy is your practice of planning and decision making? That's found on pages 179 and 180 of the book. And then you'll get started to actually have a really rich discussion as you think through your planning and decision making.